Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, we have a pretty interesting episode for you guys that you definitely want to stick around for. So make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Excuse me if the energy's not there, just feeling a little bit under the weather. Anyway, let me get into the topic here. Now, one of the things that has been dominating the sports landscape over the last few years is the advent of narratives. No single thing, in my personal opinion, just my opinion, has had a greater impact on the minds of sports fans than narratives. And what I have come to realize is that narratives can be more powerful than reality itself sometimes. That's what I've come to realize. One of the most pervasive narratives in the NBA is that, at least over the last 5-10 years, is that 5 years, 6-7 years, whatever years, is that the 73-9 Warriors were the greatest team of all time. If you ask most fans today, what's the greatest team of all time, they're going to say the 73-9 Warriors because of their regular season record. It's the biggest piece of phony baloney in NBA history, in my personal opinion. That team was so great that they blew a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And mind you, this greatest team of all time was actually favored going into that series because of their regular season record. But now when we talk about the greatest teams of all time, they're at the top of the list. So right there and then, you can see the power of narratives. And just recently, I stumbled upon, an audio, an interview that Scottie Pippen did on this sports radio show. I can't remember the name. It escapes me right now. And basically, Scottie Pippen was asked to respond to the comments that Draymond Green made, who plays with the Golden State Warriors, when he said that he was watching some Bulls highlight tape. He posted this on Twitter. Not highlight tape. He was watching the 1998 Chicago Bulls play in the NBA Finals against the Jazz, and he said that we would beat this team by 20 points if we played against them. It wouldn't even be close or whatever. And then he goes to finish it off by saying, and this is why you don't compare errors while at the same time comparing errors. But before we get into what Scottie Pippen had to say, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is we want to play what Scottie Pippen had to say about those Chicago Bulls and his response to what Draymond Green had to say, and then we're going to come back and react to it. Take a listen to that.
But, I will say this. In my era when I played, I'm not being too arrogant, I can say myself and Michael dominated the Eastern Conference. Mm-hmm. And when I look at the game right now, the Milwaukee Bucks has been a dominant in the East. And until you're able to find an answer for Giannis, I think that the Bulls will be a team that will be in the middle of the road because he is the most dominant player in the game right now. And unfortunately for them, he plays in the East, and he's he's the target that they got to get around.
One more, and then I'll let you get out of here, Scottie. And again, I really appreciate your time. Something, and I want to ask, it kind of references your own playing days a little bit. You know how, the internet can be Twitter, debating, comparing eras and things like that. Draymond Green, I don't know if you saw this, had a tweet comparing his 2017 Warriors team to your guys' 98 Bulls team, saying that they would stack up pretty well and beat you guys in a hypothetical world where they would face off. I'm just curious what you think of that matchup. Like if you were to square off the 98 Bulls and the 2017 Warriors with KD, how you think that might shake out?
I don't know. I'm not let Draymond Green talk. He's trying to pop his podcast up. So
yeah,
let him say whatever he wants. Just put this out there.
Yeah, that's probably a fair response.
The best team to win a championship is the 98 Bulls. Send that to Draymond.
I'll make sure he sees it. What about that 98 Bulls?
I mean, excuse me. The 96 Bulls.
96 Bulls. What made that team so great in your memory?
Our record.
That is another fair point.
Now, here's my opinion on this. I think the 98 Bulls were the greatest basketball team of all time for one very simple reason. They went 72-10 in the regular season, and they capped off that year by winning the NBA championship. Period. That's all. That's all I got for you. That's it. That's my only argument. They were the only team. They were the only team that won 70-plus games and won the championship. That's my biggest argument. If you look at that Chicago Bulls team, if you look at the rounds that they went through, the first round they played the Miami Heat. They beat them, I believe they beat them 3-0. The second round they faced the New York Knicks. Tough New York Knicks team. They beat them 4-1. The third round they swept Shaq and Penny Hardaway. Shaq 4-0 to make it to the NBA Finals. And then they went to the finals and beat the Supersonics, Seattle Supersonics with Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, and some other great players. They beat them 4-2. Now, if you juxtapose that Bulls team with the Warriors team, 2016, they went 4-1 in the first round and they beat the Houston Rockets with Dwight Howard, I believe, James Harden, Patrick Beverley. I can't remember the other players' name. They beat them. Second round, they beat the Portland Trail Blazers 4-1. That was extremely impressive. Third round, they were actually down 3-1 to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then they came back and beat that team. That was also extremely impressive. You're on your way. They were basically on their way to cementing their greatest team of all time status. Like, you come back from being down 3-1. That's incredible, right? Now all you have to do is go to the championship and you have the greatest regular season record of all time. You're on your way. Then they go to the NBA Finals and they get up 3-1 and then they blow a 3-1 lead to the LeBron James Cleveland Cavaliers. And mind you, they were the favorites going into that series. I can't think of any series that Jordan and the Bulls went into and they were the favorites and they lost. Now, some people say, well, the time Jordan came back, he missed a year. Jordan came back and missed a year. I don't even think he played 40 games that year when he wore number 45 and they lost that round. But the next year he came back. Y'all saw what happened. Now, here's the kicker in all of this. This is the part where it's going to crack y'all up. That Warriors team, the 2016 Warriors team, comparing them to the 96 Chicago Bulls, was actually the younger team. In 2016, 3 Hall of Famers on the Warriors. Stephen Curry was 28 years old. Klay Thompson was 26, and Draymond Green was 26. On the Chicago Bulls, the 98 Bulls, Michael Jordan was 33. He was 5 years older than Stephen Curry. Scottie Pippen was 31 years old, and Dennis Rodman was 35 years old. These are guys that were towards the tail end of their prime versus guys that were in the middle of their prime, and they still won 72 games in an 82-game season when guys were playing more games back then. So when y'all are talking about, oh, this is a great, to me, again, I think it just goes back to the narrative. The Warriors even had youth on their side, and still the Bulls came out and won the championship. So I don't understand how you can be considered the greatest team of all time and you don't win the championship. I remember the Tom Brady, New England Patriots. I think they had gone 16-0 in the regular season, and then they were like, is this going to be the greatest team of all time? And they lost. They didn't win the Super Bowl. So you got to win the championship if you win 70-plus games. So to me, the Chicago Bulls are the greatest team. The 96 Bulls are still the greatest team of all time. And I'll give you guys a comparison for those of you guys that follow track and field. It's like when Justin Gatlin was the #1 ranked sprinter in the world in 2015. And he went to the World Championships in 2015, but lost to Usain Bolt. At the end of that, who's the best sprinter in the world? It's Usain Bolt. You can't be ranked #1 all the way to the end and then you lose. So to me, listen, I think the Bulls are the Bulls are the greatest team of all time. And as I said before, I'm gonna say it again, they're the only team in NBA history to win 70+ games and cap it off for the championship. To me, that sounds like the greatest team of all time. They're the only ones to do it. You can't tell me another team that did that. So to me, that's the Bulls. That's my thoughts and opinions. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we catch y'all on the next episode.